And welcome back, everybody. Of course, you know me. My name is Dr. Keith McNally. I'm with my co-host, Noemi Beres, and this is The Sacred Divine. And so we appreciate you joining us today. And I asked Noemi for this to be a very special conversation because she has made such incredible transformations in her own personal life. And a lot of that has to do with her being able to center, ground, and really focus on things. And a friend of hers recently said she is the most fantastic manifestation in person. Noemi, can you manifest anything you want at this point?
I don't know, to be honest. That's a very good question, but I can't answer that. I did a couple of manifestations in my life, like since I was teenager, and everything basically, worked out for me, what I manifested. So yeah, hopefully it will work out in the future too.
Well, I think you've got some really good practice. And so anything that you quite literally put your mind to, you can make happen. And that is most obvious because in this year, and it's still 2024, we're at the tail end of the year, you have been very diligent in practicing meditation. And meditation in a couple of different ways. And so you sometimes you sit quietly, sometimes you're with a drum, sometimes you listen to certain music. So I was hoping that today you can kind of share with our audience how you kind of grew into this space of meditation and what types of meditation really work for you and align with your values, your spirit, your inner energies.
Well, that's a very, excuse me, very complex question. Yeah, about meditation, I think it started around the pandemic. I mean, I think we all needed meditation that time. So I just started to discover and I started to look for certain very short meditations on Spotify, on YouTube, just to, clear my mind and use it as a stress relief and reduce anxiety. So yeah, I think I purchased a program that you have to do it like 10 minutes every day for 12 months, and you have to change the meditation. Like it was a guided meditation. So I
Mhm.
did like one type of guided meditation for 1 month, and then the second type for the February, and the third one for March. So I did that for 12 months, but then I switched. But I'm still doing about like a 10-minute meditation every day. I would say not every day. Five times a week. I always start my morning with it after did my exercises. And I think it's really important for me to just clear my mind and, just to be silent for 10 minutes and try to silence my mind. But which is not so easy sometimes because our monkey brain, as I remember Mitch called that, it just working all the time, and it's really hard to calm it because we have how many thoughts a day? Like 60, 70, 80,000 thoughts a day. So we need that 10-minute or even longer time to meditate. Obviously, when we're just starting or when you're just starting out, it's easier to just start with 5 minutes or something like that, and then increase the amount. I know about people, they do like 1, 2 hours meditation per day. I honestly, I don't have time for that at this stage. I did it. Sometimes I do it during the weekends if I can, like for 1 hour, but I usually fall asleep. But they say that it's okay because you're still meditating and your mind is in a like the alpha waves. I think the theta or alpha waves,
Mhm.
theta waves. I already working during that time too. So yeah, so I mean, meditation plays an important part in my life, and my son went to a meditation class. I think it was last year, and it's cool, and it's really really beneficial even for kids. Even if you start it at an early stage and they learn it how to meditate, it really helps to work perhaps with their school studies,
Mhm.
and helps kids being calmer and focus, concentrate more.
So you mentioned something about guided meditation. So I have to assume that if there's guided meditation, there's also unguided meditation. Can you kind of explain? So I guess the guided meditation is somebody's kind of talking you through what you should be doing or thinking, or how does that actually work?
Have you tried any of the like the guided one? before?
I don't do guided meditation. I like to be very much still, quiet,
Mm.
and most of the time when I'm kind of meditating, I'm either on my bed, lying flat, or I'm on the floor over here in my office, just lying flat on the floor. And what I have learned to do is just kind of focus on my breathing. So I'll start with some really deep, slow, deep breaths, but then let it normalize. But then allow my mind to kind of focus just on
Mm.
that, just on the inhale and the exhale, the inhale and the exhale. And after about 2 minutes, my body literally just, you know, is able to calm itself down. Like my mind is able to kind of just be in a relaxed state. My body can be in a relaxed state. And at that point, I have been able to learn to, there's this point between being awake and being asleep, and you're kind of in this transition mode. I could hold that place for 5, 10 minutes at this point on a regular basis, which is really good for me. And then I'm able to kind of pull out. So for me, not so much guided meditation, but unguided meditation because I really want to have that control over my space.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's optional for everyone. Like we can pick, our poison. So which is the best for us? And for me, I mean, guided meditation is better because I can concentrate more on the guided meditation part, and which is great because, as I said, my monkey brain is not working because I'm trying to focus on, what's going on, and I can focus so much better than if I have a guided meditation. I tried both. It works better for me. I also, did some walking meditation because I walk almost every day. And I did walking meditation too. It's very interesting. It's so different. And obviously, you can't fall asleep while you're walking outside, so you have to be careful. But it can be really relaxing. Or even if it's not like a typical guided walking meditation, as Dr. Joe Dispenza does, but you can also listen to music while you walking and like soothing music
Mhm.
that it's kind of monotone rhythms, and it really helps you to just clear your mind while you're walking. So for me, that's kind of a meditation form as well. When I walk, I mean, that's really important. And I just came across one other breathing exercise the other day, and this is a shout out to Chris Doris. I don't know if he's gonna ever listen to the podcast, but you never know. And he's the mental toughness coach, and I um, read his emails every morning. And he had a podcast interview, and they were talking about a specific, very like unique type of breathing exercise that like here and now. So it's like here you're breathing in, you hold your breath as long as you can. Obviously, at the beginning you can't hold that long, but you can practice it. So you just like in your mind, you just like here and you hold your breath and you just breathe out and you say now, and you try to hold it as well. So it's very interesting, and you can do that before an important interview. You can do that before an important business call or something like that because it really calms your body down, and you can practice it. For about 5 minutes, and it can really change the way you talk to people and how you react to in different situations.
Now, I think you're constantly bringing up this really good point for our listeners. It's easy to say, I'm too busy. But you're an
Mm.
entrepreneur. I mean, you wear many hats. You are very, very busy. And here you are on Saturdays taking your time out to kind of join me in conversation on the sacred divine. Let's talk about that really quick. You have to pull out of your calendar this very specific period of time and dedicate yourself to it. But you said earlier, you could maybe start with a minute, 2 minutes, or, if you have it, 5 minutes. Can you talk about that just a bit? How does one really get into the routine of scheduling maybe 5 minutes where there are no distractions. There is nothing else on your schedule. You give yourself permission. You give yourself space in order to kind of calm yourself down and get into a state where everything is at peace? How do you do that?
I mean, you need to, as you said, like carve out time from my schedule to do that. But because I do it in the morning when my son is not at home and everybody's away, so it's a really like just like that's my me time. And I can do that in the evening because I'm too tired after all my, Zoom calls and interviews. But like for me, morning really works. I know for other people, maybe another time of the day, or maybe if you can squeeze it in the middle of the day just before lunch, or we can pick a time, but we have to be consistent and persistent with it, like really stick to it. Otherwise it won't work. So you have to be consistent, but like with everything else, with business, with meditation, with exercise, it only works if you do it. And yes, we are busy, but I mean, busy is such an overused word because yes, we are not too busy to scroll our phones for an hour on TikTok, and we are not too busy to do things that are basically kind of, we can call it useless for our mental and emotional health.
Mhm.
So, but these things are really important, and some people just too busy to do that. But once we realize that how beneficial for us, we just need to stick to it and just build it into our routines and carve out some time and schedule some time into our calendar that this is meditation time. And I don't do it for long. The whole thing that I'm doing, it takes about 20 minutes every morning. So everyone has 20 minutes to do that. And we just need to be intentional with it. So what about you? When do you do it? Because I know you're busy as well. I mean, work and your hiking routine every morning. So I mean, that takes up a lot of time. And so when do you do it?
So for me, I have to do it sporadically, like throughout the day.
Mm,
I still work a 9 to 5 job. I'm not an entrepreneur just yet. So I do get a mid-morning break and then kind of a mid-afternoon break. So these 15-minute breaks, I can actually go lay down, not take a nap, but actually kind of, like I said, breathe, focus on my breathing, and really get into a relaxed state, which is really, I like to use the word rejuvenating because it kind of
mm,
helps me, calm down. 9 to 5 jobs, just like an entrepreneur, can get very hectic, can get very busy, can get very chaotic. And so you have to give yourself that space for your own personal well-being, quite frankly. It has to be part of your system. But I also do something as well. And so you talked about meditating while walking. Now, for those who are listening to this conversation, you mentioned the fact that I do hike and I hike mostly in the morning. And so I'm not going to kind of get into when I wake up, but I can easily hike for 4 hours. Now, that's a long time to be doing any one thing in particular. So to kind of give this into some sense of perspective, I'm training for the Appalachian Trail through hike in 2026. So those 4 hours are dedicated to a physical training. But in that time, I do affirmations, kind of a type of meditation. I do a lot of affirmations in terms of who I am, who I want to be, and what I want to see accomplished in my life. And so that's really, it's a good space for me to be in. And there's no better time for me because I'm moving, I'm walking, my mind is very much alert, especially in weather like it is today, because it's rather cold here in the United States. Um, so that gives me this real good space to kind of really dig deep. Now I'm not going to be in a very, calm, quiet state, but my mind is generating these positive vibrations, these positive thoughts through those affirmations. And so for me, that works and that works
mm.
tremendously. But I think to end this call, to end this conversation, we've got to dive into, as you said earlier, there has to be return on investment. People are not going to do something unless there's a return on that investment. There has to be some type of benefit for them. And so for you, where do you see the benefits of meditation?
Obviously work life, like being like more patient with my son and being more patient with my clients. Sometimes you need that. And so, yeah, just like being in a better mood. And it really helps to somehow, some kind, just re, um, how should I put that? Just, yeah, as you said, like rejuvenate myself every morning with the help of meditation. And even when I'm in the not right headspace or not in the right mood, it always helps me to get in a better mood. I'm not saying that I'm doing meditation after that, like everything's going to be rainbows and unicorns here in Cyprus, because it's not. But it really helps me with to cope with the day if, any chaotic situation arises or having some trouble. So I have so much more patience with myself and, with my family, with my son. So yeah, it's very beneficial, I think, for everyone around me as well.
Well, before we end this call, you do something really special. And I do want to share this with our audience. And you play the drum, but not any drum. What type of drum do you play?
Yes, I have. Once you start it, it's addictive to buy one drum. And then I went to the drum shop, and the owner told me, it's like, once you start it, like you can't stop because, oh, I want this and that. So I started with a handpan, and I got that from my mom for my 40th birthday as a gift. And it's a very like expensive, really nice instrument. And I even bought a plane ticket for my hang to fly from Hungary to Cyprus. And so then I bought, I think that was a tongue drum, the second one. I bought it for my son, but he never plays on it. So I play on it. And then I bought a frame drum and now a djembe drum. So now I have a little collection of drums here. And so I try to switch it up. I mean, my latest baby is the djembe drum. So I play on it a lot, like every morning. And again, that's kind of meditation for me again, because it's stress relief. It really helps to relax. And yes, you can meditate by playing because it's fun, but it's also it's even good for your health and for your mental, emotional health, because the drumming really relieves that kind of negative energies in your body, and you can really relax by drumming. Have you ever tried drumming?
I have never, ever, other than maybe tapping on my lap, I have never tried.
That's drumming too. I mean, like, yeah.
You know what I always say, I have no talent whatsoever. I can't sing. I can't dance. I can't play an instrument, but maybe we should get into that conversation at another time and change my negative thoughts using conscious language into positive thoughts. But as a treat for our audience, we're going to share a snippet of you playing the drum at the tail end of this conversation. Yes?
Yes, yeah, yes, we will. Absolutely.
Noemi, I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. And so for everybody who's watching and listening, Noemi Beres, Dr. Keith McNally, and we'll see you next time on The Sacred Divine. Take care.